Wow. Thank you so much, my beautiful ladies, and Stan, for having a dance with me. I'm sure you all are energized and you are here for a reason. I did quite a lot of advertising this week, especially on this topic. And I was hoping to have more ladies here, but I always believe the people that are here needs to hear. And then there's some people that will go and do look at the recording. For me, I always thought I know where I'm going. I know. But the last 3 years, without a plan, you're not going anywhere slowly. So I know that a goal and why you're doing this goal and the steps, small steps. Because if I told you I had to lose 165 kilograms, I would, pounds. I will have never thought, how am I going to do this? I have done so many diets in my life. But when I start to break it down, I said, if I can just lose 10, okay, I will say kilograms because it is easy for my reference when I was doing my plan. Because in South Africa we use kilograms, I start with small steps and then break that 10 off because it's unrealistic to have a plan and try to lose weight 10 kilograms, or I think it's 10 times 2, it's I think 25 pounds in 1 month. So I actually broke my target even more down, measurable. And then I started to do that, and then the next one, and it was not easy, but without a plan, I would not have done what I have done. So today is for me a very special day. I saw Stein's image. I think June. And then after we have met, we found out we actually did the fire walk together. And he came and talked to us that day, but I didn't notice him. And well, he remembered the hat. So people remember my hat, but I didn't. I saw him and I spoke to him and I thought, wow, 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 I need this man. So I booked Stein almost 6 months in advance because he is very popular. He is speaking on world stages and he is changing people's lives. So for me, I don't know, Stein, if you can just put on your camera to make sure that you are there. I just want to say thank you for keeping your promise 6 months ago to be here. I could not wait for you to come and inspire us. So I am going to give it all over to you. You've got 20 minutes to inspire us. So, ladies, if there's any questions, please, even if Stein cannot answer, or Linda or Ronnie cannot answer, I will be sending the chat over to them, and then we will definitely have an answer for you. So, please, Stein, inspire us.
Thank you, Sunny. True privilege and real privilege to speak to everyone. Um, People and the possibility of people is my passion. Making a difference. I truly believe that each and every person on the planet has a purpose, but I also believe that we have a shared purpose, and our shared purpose is to make a difference for mankind, is to inspire people. We each have our own skill sets, our own skills that we have and our own passions, but that makes us uniquely skilled to help someone else. Our journey is different to anyone else. There's about 8 billion people on the planet, and your journey is unique to you. And I always believe that each person has two stories that is important, and one is your story. Your unique story, everything you've experienced as you've experienced them in life. Um, and no one else on the planet has a similar story as you have. The second story, I believe, and most probably the most important story we have in life, is the story we tell ourselves every day. And if you would allow me, Sanit, can I do a screen share so that I'm going to put a couple of pointers on the screen. You can make notes, write them down. I've been very privileged to have a great man, Zig Ziglar, as one of my personal mentors. And literally more than 30 years ago, Zig taught me a quote that I literally would hang on to for the next 30 years. And until this day, I truly believe this is the essence. And I want to just quickly share, if you would bear with me 1 second. And if you agree with this, ladies, if you can make a comment in the chat box so I can see that you're with me. This is a quote that I got from Zeke more than 30 years ago. And it said you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And until this day, I truly believe this is one of the most powerful quotes ever, because that's the essence of life. That's purpose, is to change the life for one person. And if we do that, and one of the things that I've learned from Zeke and one of my coaches, and sometimes I coach Tom, and sometimes Tom coaches me, is Tom Ziegler, his son. And what an incredible person. And it's all about the purpose you have. It's that future you see for yourself. Can you see that future? And are we making a difference to one person a day? Are we changing their lives? So whether it's our business, whether we're selling something, whether we just a year, doesn't matter what we really do. But what I've learned from the great man Zig is that a random act of kindness is something you can't give up. It's something you can't let by the wayside. Now, life is a journey. You got to be before you can do, and you got to do before you can have. And only when you have can you give. You can't give what you don't have. And basically, on our journey of life, once we start helping someone else be, do, and have more than they thought possible, are we creating a legacy? And I love this principle, and I coach and teach this principle, across the world, and I share it with everyone. How to have a balanced life, and how to get an understanding that most of us are in survival mode, and you'll stay in survival mode until you decide what you want to be and put a plan in place to become this person. Who do you want to be? Now, for most people, we grow through life with our brakes on. It's like my grandmother, bless her soul, she lived until the ripe age of 98. And I remember at like 95, she was still driving her own car, living in her own flat, making her own food, making her own clothes. She was a very powerful lady. And she lived about, I would say, 3 blocks from my mother's house. And I remember clearly when you sit at my mother's house and my grandma got in her little car, a Toyota, driving home after tea. You could hear her drive home because the car never came out of first gear. She would pull away and you would just hear this car going. And when it started going quiet, you would know she's home. And it never came out of first gear. And that's what our lives are like sometimes. We don't switch gears. We don't come out of first gear. We don't move to second gear or third gear, let alone the 6th gear. Our comfort zone sits here. Life starts out there. And nothing changes. We'll always be in survival mode until we decide whose we want to be, and we put a plan in place to become that person. Now, the moment you do that, the moment you decide, I believe, and I truly believe that life is the choices we make. If you make better choices, you get better results. So the moment you decide and you make that choice, it'll move you from survival to stability. Now, in stability mode, if you decide to do and prepare what is necessary to become this person, you become significant. And we move from significance to legacy, girls, that when we start helping someone else be, do, and have more than they thought is possible. Just if you agree with this, just make a comment there, and I will share the story of Florence Chadwick. If you think the year was 1952, and Florence Chadwick was known for being a long-distance swimmer, an ocean swimmer, so to speak. And she decided she's going to be the first woman to swim the English Channel. And she had a whole team help her prepare, and she got into the water and she swam for 16 hours. And then she looked up at her mother in a boat next to her, and she says to her mother, "I'm tired. Please pick me up into the boat." And what she didn't realize at the time, she was only about a mile from the end goal. She was only about a mile from the other side of the English Channel. And she got into that boat and she didn't make it. And when a reporter asked Florence, so, why did you give up? And her answer was profound. And this is like 1952, the most profound answer. If only I could see my goal, I would have reached it. And it's such a profound thing. If only we can see our goals, we'll reach them. A couple of months later, she swam the English Channel, and she did so in a record time of about 14 hours and a couple of minutes. And not too long after that, she swam it the other way around and became the very first woman to swim the English Channel both ways, from Britain to France and from France to Britain. And the only thing that has changed for Florence, she became the greatest channel swimmer, was that on her second try, she had a clearly defined goal. She could see the end goal, and she prepared for that goal. And this is why I believe goal setting. This time of the year, we all set New Year's resolutions come 1st of January. And then come 1st of February, all of those are gone. Because we think about what we want, but we say something different and we do something entirely different. And I believe that if we can manage to get our thoughts, our words, and our actions into an alignment, it holds the magic. That's where the magic lies, is when we not only decide what we want, but we put a plan in place to achieve those goals. And if you ask the right questions, it becomes very easy to decide, what is a dream and what is a goal. Because sometimes, and rightfully so, we have these big dreams. We have these massive big dreams, these things we want to achieve, this person we want to be, the things we want to learn. Now, accomplishing a goal is not merely as important as what you become by reaching your goals. And I think that's the truth of it is, it's more important what we become. And the reason why we should have goals is that goals help us to focus our energy and accomplish more. Now, I always compare this to a magnifying glass. A magnifying glass, you can, if you don't have good sight, you can use a magnifying glass to read better and see better. And it can bring you no harm. But if you focus the sun's energy with a magnifying glass, you can create energy, you can create fire. And fire can burn. So focus energy is power energy. Everything in our world is an energy and a vibration. Our own personal energy and vibration determines our reality. And our reality lies in our perception. And goals help us to focus our energy. It help us to accomplish more. Focus energy will take you so much further. And sometimes we go, but I can't see that far ahead. And that's okay, because you can go as far as you can see. And when you get there, you'll be able to see farther. You see, so we shouldn't worry too much if we can't see too far into the future. We go as far as we can see. And then when we get there, we go farther. Now, the clearer the goal, and this is what I've found of literally helping thousands of people in the world, is that most of the time we lack clarity. And when I deal with people and they tell me what they want to achieve, and I go, they want this house, and I go, wow, what does it look like? Can you describe it to me? And the devil lies in the detail, because the more clarity you have, the more detail you have in that mental picture, the more apt you are to reach it. And in an old Chinese proverb says that a journey of 1,000 leagues begins with a single step. And Zig said that you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Most of us don't realize you must just start. Now, I remember as a youngster, I had a bit of a talent for sport, and I grew up in a rather poor house, and I got to high school, or junior high, as you would like to call it in America, and the teacher said jump over a hurdle. And some guys had to stand left and some right. And then I ended up in a group, you're going to run hurdles on Saturday. I've never done hurdles in my life. And I'm excited like a child is, for your first opportunity. And I go to my dad and I say, I'm running on Saturday. Can you buy me spikes? And he says, no, my son, I'm not going to buy you spikes. You first have to run the race. And if you perform in this race, we can talk about the spikes. So I got to the track on Saturday, and it was only youngster there that didn't have spikes on my feet, and I didn't have starting blocks, but I ran the race of my life, and I won the race. And winning that race allowed me to have the spikes. But I also was a difficult child, so I didn't do my homework, and I was naughty, and for punishment, my father took me off the athletic track for a couple of months. And then right before a big meet, he told me, do you want to run? And I go, well, what question is that? Of course I want to run. And I got to the meet that morning, and I remember my coach always said to me, Stain, a race is won in that first step. And I never really understood what she meant by that. But that morning when I went down in the starting blocks, and that gun went off, and I started, I realized exactly what she was saying. Because with that first step, I realized not only am I going to win this race, I'm going to win this race in a big way. And I did win it in a record time that would stand for 18 years. It was that first step. It was that not worrying about how good it's going to be, how good you're going to be in the end. It's about starting. It's about getting out of the blocks. And that's why I love what Zeke said so much. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. Now, if goals are so important, why don't most people set goals? I mean, this is something, and I really am very, very privileged and honored to speak to so many people across the world, businessmen, Fortune 500 companies, and in South Africa, I've most probably spoken to each of the large companies in the country. And I always ask this question, so how's the goal setting going? And it's amazing to find that most people don't set goals. We all know that we have to set goals, but we don't really set them. We don't really write them down. We don't really get clarity. And I found that the four things that really keep us back from setting our goals is, number one, fear. And fear of failure. We think if we set a goal and we don't achieve it, we're going to have to explain to a couple of other people why we haven't reached our goal. So we are frightened about failing. What we don't realize is that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. We don't realize that we learn from our failure. If we go for it and we don't really make it, it's like Florence. She went for it, and I don't think she kept back. She had all the intention in the world to swim that channel. She didn't keep back. She swam for 16 hours. There's no keeping back if you swim for 16 hours. But she couldn't see that goal. And that fear of, she wasn't afraid to fail because she learned from it, and that allowed her to really perform better and to make it in record time twice. You see? So sometimes we don't want to set a goal because just now people look at it and go, we know you're not going to make it. And that is really not a real and good enough reason. The second reason we don't set goals is a poor self-image. We don't believe that we can do it. And it sounds such a simple thing, but our belief systems is what drive us. What we believe is what drives us. What we see for our future, and I think it's Tony Robbins that say, you have to see a compelling future, and that's what drives us. So poor self-image, the way we look at ourselves, is what's keeping us back. And it's really a question of understanding that God created us in a good way. We were all created genius. And life changed for us the day we realized that we were created genius. We were created good. The third reason is we've just never been sold on it. I remember as a young sales manager, this is such a long time ago. I love to tell the story about this old man and his wife, and they were sitting chatting about getting a new washing machine, and they made a budget for it, and they did research, and they decided exactly what washing machine they wanted. And on Saturday morning, the old man was off and to the shops, and he had the money in his pocket, and he had a clear picture of the washing machine he wanted. And he came home at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and his wife looked at me and says, "Where have you been the whole day? And I don't see a washing machine. Where have you been?" And he said, "That's the strangest thing. I set out this morning to go and buy a washing machine, and I had a very clear picture of the exact machine we want, and I had the money in my pocket. But I got to store number 1, and they didn't have what we were looking for. And I got to store number 2, and they had the machine. And at store number 3, 4, and 5, they also had it." And his wife says, "So why didn't you buy it?" He says, "None of those guys wanted to sell me a washing machine." And with goal setting, It's sometimes like that. We've just never been sold on the idea that it's good for us, that we should take the steps, that we should put a plan in place, that we should write our stuff down and then do what it takes to achieve our goal. We've never been sold on it. And hopefully tonight I can sell you on setting goals. And then the last reason why people don't do this is they simply don't know how. No one has ever sat them down and given them a system. And I'm going to show you a world-renowned system. This is the system we use at Ziegler. This is the system that I have personally used in my own life to achieve many goals. This is the system I coach businesses and see results of production going up 100 to 150% when we start getting clarity and we start just doing the things that we know how to do, but we fail to implement. And I think that's the number one reason people fail in business, is a failure to implement. We learn stuff, we don't implement it. Now we need to get from the dream to the goal first. And what I would suggest you do is sit down and take a piece of paper and write down everything you can even think of that you want to be, do, and have. Just write it down. Everything. And it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. This is your dreams. It doesn't matter what someone else thinks about them. I really believe that other people's opinion of you is none of your business. You see? So it's your dreams. Doesn't matter how big they are. Start by writing down everything you can think of that you want to be, do, and have in life. And if you want to really dial into it, write it down in the areas of life. You know, in what do I want for my spirituality? What do I want for my health? What do I want for my wealth or my money? What do I want for my family life? What do I want? What are you after? You know, someone once told me the story about sitting in a restaurant in Australia, and this big burly waiter comes and he says, "Chicken or a salad?" And the guy looks at him and goes, "Wow, you know, I'd like a chicken salad, please." He goes, "Well, I'll get that for you." You see, if we know what we want, we can get that. Most people don't know what they want. And it starts with writing down everything you can think of. And then what we do, you know, here's a picture, just like a mind map or a mental note. You know, there's the areas of life. It's your physical life, spiritual, mental, family, finances, personal, and career life. And what is it you want for each of those areas? You know, when we get into balance, in work-life balance is where things operate better. If it's only work and no play, it makes it a dull day. You have all the money in the world in the bank, but you don't have health. The money ain't helping you. You have all the health in the world and you have no money in the bank. You know, it's going to be going equally difficult. I think Zig said the money is not the most important thing in the world, but compared to breathing, it's pretty close. If you need it, you need it. And it's about having balance in all of these areas. And then what we do is, once we've written it down, we ask one question, just one question, ladies. We're going to ask why. Why do I want this? Why do I want to be this person? Why do I want this achievement? If you cannot write down in one sentence why, we take it off the list. It's not that important. You see, the why is the important thing. I had a coaching client the other day, and this is an amazing story. You know, so I'm going through a questioning sequence of him, getting an understanding of his needs and his challenges. And one of the things he tells me that he just loves doing is to cook a meal for his family. And I go, "Well, that's great. So how good a cook are you?" He says, "Steyn, I'm an amazing cook." I said, "And what is your favorite thing you cook?" He said, I cook a steak that's to die for." I go, "Well, that's, you know," so he says, "and what you don't realize, to cook the perfect steak, this process of cooking the steak is like chaos. You know, the potatoes has to go in first because they take an hour, and then I have to season the steak and I have to get the oven ready, and it's chaos. But at some point in time, the chaos come together and out comes a perfect steak." And we talk about that, and he said to me, "Steyn, you know why I cook such a big and nice steak? Why I cook the perfect steak?" He says, "Me cooking a steak is showing my family how much I love them." And that's why he cooks such a good steak. It's not about him cooking a steak. It's not even about him cooking a perfect steak. It's about him cooking a steak, showing his family how much he loves them. Automatically, if that's the why, he puts in all the effort he can to achieve that outcome. And isn't that what goal setting is about? It's literally about understanding what it is we want and then ask why. And if the why is big enough, it will give us the motivation, the encouragement, the things necessary to put a plan into place so that we can achieve that goal. You follow me, ladies? Are we enjoying this? Is it good? Does it make
And
sense?
Stein, can I just ask the ladies? Ladies, Stein's time is up, so I want to ask your permission for him to continue. And that means it will be a little bit more than an hour. So if you say it's okay, then I will ask Stein to continue. Are you okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Stein,
I'll
continue.
go fast. Thank you, Sunit. I'll go as fast as I can. This is such an important thing, and I want to really share some good stuff with you so you can make a difference, not only to your own life, but to the lives of every single other person you meet. So when we set goals, we need to ask 5 questions. First question is this really my goal? And especially in business, sometimes the goals we chase is a company goal. It's the owner of the company's goal. So question number 1, is it really my goal? Question number 2 is such an important thing. Is this morally right and fair to everyone involved? So if I'm going to have to rob a bank to achieve my goal, then obviously it's not morally and fair to everyone involved. So chasing a goal must be morally right and fair to everyone involved. Is it consistent with my other goals? I believe that your goals should be aligned with your soul. If you don't have an alignment between what your goals are and your soul, it ain't going to happen. You ain't going to put the work in. It's just simply not going to work. Okay. Can I emotionally commit myself to finish this goal? Swimming, when that lady swam this English channel, she had to commit. She knew it's going to take 15 or 16 hours to get to the other side of continuous swimming in exceptionally cold water. So the question is, can I emotionally commit myself to finish this goal? And can I see myself reaching the goal? Can I have that compelling future? Can I actually see in my mind's eye, I've already achieved it? Because that's where the power lies. Okay. And then I need to understand, will it make me happier? Will it make me healthier? Will it make me more prosperous? Will it make me more friends? Will it give me peace of mind? Will it make me more secure? And will it improve my relationship with others? So if I ask those questions of God, can you see this now as becoming a worthy goal? It's way further than just having a dream, having an image of what I want to achieve. We've now checked it. We tick the boxes and go, this is morally right. And yes, it'll make me happier. Because unless it's going to make you happier, healthier, prosperous, having more friends, peace of mind, secure, and improving relationships of others, it ain't worth it. I truly believe we all want the same things in life. We want to be happy, reasonably happy. We want to be reasonably wealthy. We want to be healthy. We want to have friends, peace of mind, be secure, and have good and improved relationship with others. If your goals ain't going to do that for you, they ain't going to do anything for you. And that's where most people come short. We don't ask those questions. And you need to set 3 types of goals. I believe in performance planning, and one of the classes I do is on performance planning. Short-term goals, what I want to achieve in the next 30 days. More so, what do I want to achieve today? What do I want out of today? What is my intentions? When you came to this class, this session, this master class, Sanet, whatever you call it, what were your intentions? What did you want from this? Now, if you treat every conversation, every meeting, everything you do in life with the intention of pre-planning and say, this is what I want out of it, you will get that, because you're focused on what it is you want to achieve in that meeting, in that conversation. And if you would just treat every single person when you speak to them for that moment in time as the most important person in your life, life changes. We have to have medium-term goals. Those are 6 months to a year. What do I want to achieve in the next 6 months to 12 months? And then long-term goals, what does it look like in the next 5 years? A great mentor of mine and one of my coaches, Tom Hopkins, said, to be terrific, you got to be specific. And this is the truth of it. When El Zig wanted to get people involved, to teach people about sales, he got Tom Hopkins in because he's the #1 sales trainer in the world. And it's literally, he believes that to be terrific, you've got to be specific. I'm going to share the 6 steps with you, Sonette, and then I'll close off. I've already overstepped the bounds of my time, and I apologize for that, because normally, I get so excited that I don't watch the clock. Um, 7 steps for achieving goals, and if you've achieved one using these, ladies, you can achieve any goal using this. Identify the goal. I've shared with you a process that works very, very well for that. What benefit will you get from reaching the goal? Life is like a scale of balance. If what I have to sacrifice is more than what I will achieve by getting that goal, I won't make the sacrifice. I need to understand that what I achieve, what I get, what benefit I get is more than what I have to sacrifice, because only then are we prepared as human beings to make that sacrifice. Why haven't you done it yet? What are the major obstacles? What's keeping you back? What's holding you back? What's tying you down? Why are you not reaching them? Okay. And sometimes it's clarity that just holds it back. Sometimes it's not believing in ourselves that's holding us back. And that's why I love doing what I call extreme format seminars. We show people what is really possible. If you can walk over fire, you can do anything. If you can break an arrow with your throat, you can do anything. If you can do a glass walk, you can do anything. It's about what are the obstacles, to show you that we are never given an obstacle that is too big to overcome, to get past. What skills and knowledge do I require? You might want to go on an overseas trip, and you go, but what skills and knowledge do I need? Well, depending where you want to go, where you're going to stay, what places do I want to visit? What skills and knowledge do I need to achieve this goal? And then more so, who do I need to help me? If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you really want to go far, you need people around you. You need to go in a team. And reaching your goals, you need to understand, who do I need? Help me. Sometimes, your bank manager should be your best friend, especially if you want to take a long overseas holiday and need the money to do so. Okay, so who do I need to help me this? And then what is the action plan? What am I doing today to move me closer to my goal? And if you every day, literally just every day, work on something to take you closer to your goal, that'll change life for you. And then if there's not a compelling deadline to complete the goal, if there's not a deadline, we tend to not reach our goals, because there's nothing telling us it has to be done by a certain time. So make a deadline, decide. It's a decision. When do I want this? Then this is about putting that plan into place and then executing the plan. And I remember Tom telling me the story about him as a youngster. He wanted to be a pro golfer. And Zeke was going on a speaking engagement in Mauritius, and Tom was a young man, can I also go? Can I also go? And his father looked at me and says, Tommy, my boy, you can go with me. It's no problem. You have to ask one question, though. Is going with me to Mauritius taking you closer to your goal or further away? And I really think in life it's really that simple. Is the thing that I'm doing taking me closer to my goal that I want to achieve, or is it taking me further away? It's easy to sit in front of the TV, and I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination you shouldn't have off time and relax time. But if you do ask, this thing that I'm doing, is it taking me closer to what I want to achieve in life, or is it taking me further away? You'll come to the right answer of that. And I believe you were born to win. And in order to be the winner that you were born to be, you have to plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. And that is my story, Sanette. It was an absolute privilege for me to share a couple of insights with you. And I really do believe in this process. It's something that I follow personally. I have two guarantees in my business. One, if I engage people, it's costing them money. If it ain't as good as I say it is, it becomes free. And the second thing I truly believe is that I teach people nothing I do not personally practice, because if you can't practice it, it ain't that good. And it has to be real. So I really have a philosophy in my business. I actually issue each one of my clients a written guarantee that I teach nothing that I do not practice, that I haven't tried out, that I do not understand whether it's bringing results or not results. And that's one of the reasons I believe I'm most probably the number one breakthrough or performance coach in the country, for that reason. It has to be real. It has to provide results. And if you don't have a solid process, you ain't going to see the results. And giving, I always tell people in business that if you do a poor job, you get fired. If you do a good job, you get pat on the back. Well done. You've done a good job. If you do a great job, you get the pat on the back, and a 3% increase on your income ain't really changing your life. You have to do an outstanding job. If you do an outstanding job, you get the rewards of that. You'll get the pat on the back. You'll get the big increase in income. You'll change people's lives. And remember, ladies, your failure helps no one. Your success will help a lot of other people. And that is how important your success is. Your success will help a lot of people. It was truly a privilege for me. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I hope this is useful to you and that you'll be able to implement some of this. If there's any questions, Annette, I'll be here listening in. And again, apologize for me shooting over the time. Hopefully it was worth it. Thank you so
Wow.
much.
Wow, thank you so much, Stan. You can stop sharing. So, ladies, is there any questions that you wanted to ask Stan? Okay. If not, then please. Yes,
One.
Val. Yes, Val.
I don't have a question. I just want to thank him so much for the amount of material he gave us that made it so real and valuable to me right now in this moment in my life when I am writing a book. And I just want to thank you very, very much.
It's only a pleasure.
Wow.
And
Thank
good
you.
luck with your book. It's a great journey to take.
Wow, thank you. So for me, Val, it's such a privilege to have Stein because he do ask a lot of money. And I told him, there's no budget, but please, can you please come and inspire the ladies? And I'm sorry, I'm going to cry almost now. And he said, yes, he will come and do it. And he didn't even really know me, but we connected that day. I told him the reason for my Diamond Beauties. I told him the reason why I'm doing this for free. I'm not asking the Diamond Beauties for any cent, nothing. I'm doing this because that's my calling. And he said, yes. So, Stein, I want to say thank you. And the knowledge that you give us was tremendous. Thank you so much.
It's
Sarah,
only a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Sarah, you want to say something?
Yes, please. Could you elaborate a little bit more on, is it really my goal? Like I've heard that before and I've analyzed it best I could. I'd love a different perspective on that.
Yeah. So most of the time, our goals are driven from the perspective of our career. And for most people, whether you own a business and that's your career, or whether you work for someone, I think for most people, general population in the world, they work for someone else. They got a job, and most of their goals are very closely linked to that job and that career. And from a business perspective, the company owner would come in and say, I want 25% more business this year. And I then set goals to achieve that 25% more. It's not my goal. It's my company owner's goal. It's the company I work for's goal. It's not my goal. It's not I have to perform to satisfy someone else. Now, I believe if we perform to satisfy our needs, and we can go into depth with this of the theory of Maslow and things that motivate people. But I believe if you work for a dream, not only will you work harder, you will work a tremendous amount smarter. And if it's your goal, you'll be more committed to that. So your goal, I mean by what is it personally you want in life, in every area? What is it you want to achieve? Not what is my husband, my partner, my business partner, my mother, my brother, someone, what do they expect of me? This is what do you expect of you? What do you want? And to get clarity on what you want is that where it changes at the end of the day. When I ask the question, is this really my goal? Is this really something that I want to achieve, that I can emotionally commit to achieving that? Because if it isn't, it's like New Year's resolutions. We start 1st of January. We had a great festive season. We've picked up some weight, and then we go, New Year's resolutions. I'm going to diet, exercise more. I have to lose weight, and then come 1st of February, it's not there, and then we ask why. because maybe losing weight was not really that important to you. You know, it's not really your goal. Maybe, you know, it's someone else's goal for you, that come out. Does that make sense, Sarah?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
so about getting clarity about what it is you want to be, do, and have. You know, so sometimes we want stuff. You know, whether that be a good relationship, a car, a house, or whatever it is you want. But also, you know, what person do you want to be? Legacy lies in what we leave in people. Inheritance, what we leave to people when we pass on in life. Legacy is what we leave in people. So what do I want to be as, you know, what do I want to leave in people? What do I want to be remembered for? And this is a very core issue, because this really cuts down to the very center of our beings as human beings. You know, what do I want to be? Not everyone wants to be a top politician. Not everyone wants to be a top coach or you know, what do you want? And sometimes we do things to please other people. And that's why that's so important, that question here. Is this goal to please someone else, or is this really my goal?
Perfect.
Does
Thank
Wow.
you
that
so
answer?
much. Appreciate it.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Stein and Sarah. So now it's my privilege to introduce, and most of you know Ronnie. Ronnie is going to do a 5 minutes motivation for us, and then we will go over to Linda. Linda did let me know in the chat that a lot of what she wanted to say, Stein has covered, so she will adjust, and then she's got also a beautiful offer that she will be telling you about, especially for the diamond ladies. So I give it all over to you, my beautiful Ronnie.
Ronnie, can I just interrupt? Sanette, can I just ask? I'm going to listen in.
Yes.
I'm going to put my video down. I have to join in on another conversation at 9 o'clock our time. So I don't mean to be rude. I'm going to listen in. I'm sure you're recording this. I'm going to ask for the recording because I don't want to miss anything. I really want to hear. And I just want to thank you. And if I pop off, it's not because I'm rude. It's simple. I do have to jump on another call at 9 o'clock.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Stein. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I will contact you later. Tomorrow, your tomorrow. Thank you. Okay, Ronnie.
Hi, Sanet. Thank you, Stern, for this great presentation. I think he covered everything that the speakers wanted to cover, but I think this was really, really useful and I think very valuable to all of us. Yes, I will keep it short because I know Linda wants to share, so I'll make it very, very short. I'll talk maybe 3 minutes, less than what I have planned because of Stern presentation. So I'll just take only one point. I'll talk about it. So the one point I would like to talk to you, it's about, let me see now. Yes, it's about when you have a goal, it's important to know that you cannot go for that goal all by yourself. If you want to succeed in achieving your goals, you cannot do it by yourself. You need other people to help you. And it's very much like if you are climbing a mountain, like all these well-known climbers, they don't go by themselves. They have a goal to reach Mount Everest, but they can't go by themselves because it's so dangerous. So they need a guide, they need their team to bring the food, the supplies. So they need all their people around them. Even if they are professional, they need people to build the tent. So they need the support to take them there. So it's also known among celebrities, the celebrities, they have their manager, the athletes have their coach. So no man is an island. And if we are thinking that we are going to achieve our goal by ourselves, we are mistaken because we need people to support us to achieve that. And it's almost impossible if we do it by ourselves. We will reach there, but it will take us a long, long time. But if we have the right people around us, we achieve that goal much, much faster. And that's why I don't know how many of you here have a coach. Do all of you ladies have a coach to help you? Yes, that's great. Yes. And have you noticed at the speed that you achieve your goals? it is much faster than if you go by yourself. I can tell you, I never had a coach until I had one these past 2 years. And the coach is he brings so much clarity to me, but he helps us as well to design a plan to reach our goals, because otherwise we won't know where to go by ourselves. And he's there, the coach, whoever it is, your coach, it gives you like a non-judgmental ear, but also open you to a new perspective that you wouldn't have thought about, but helps you to get out of your comfort zone as well, to push you, to keep you moving, to keep you accountable for what you are doing weekly. So having a coach, I would say, is one of the most important steps for you to achieve your goals much faster, so that you can take action weekly and that your coach is there to support you. And I like that quote by Brian Tracy, who said, "A goal without a plan is only a dream." So that's why you need a coach to help you to set out the plan so that you are successful. So that's all I wanted to share today, Sanet, so that everybody can have a chat. Can have a discussion. Yes. Thank you, Sanet, and thank you, everyone.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, my beautiful Ronnie. Thank you. And good luck with all your interviews. You are
Yes.
doing so good. So, ladies, please check out
Thank you.
on YouTube. Subscribe to Ronnie's YouTube channel. Ronnie, just put the link in. She's doing
Okay.
interviews and she did Dolly. And she will be asking more ladies out of the group as well, Diamond Beauties. So please subscribe to her channel. And then for me, before I'm giving it to Linda, I just want to say thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. So my beautiful
Thank you,
Linda,
Sanet.
thank you, Ronnie. My beautiful Linda, I am so excited for you to be here. I asked you already last year to come and inspire us, especially on your vision boards. I met Linda through the Speakers Speak Live group, and I just admire her the first time I saw her, and then I also looked her up and sent a friend request to her. So, Linda, it's such a privilege that you're going to talk to us, and then I cannot wait to hear what are you going to offer us. Thank you so much. You're on mute, Linda.
It dawned on me right as you started to say that. The privilege is mine to be here, and thank you so much for the invitation. Have you ever noticed that other people's demands get in the way of you getting your goals accomplished? Or is that am I the only person that happens to? I see some heads nodding. And everything Sten said is absolutely true. I've been to Ziegler training. I've learned a good deal. And when you look at what I train, you'll see that a lot of it follows what Tom Ziegler teaches. I really believe that number one, you start with your dream. You can call it a goal later, but I want you to dream. Think back to when we were little and we would lay down and look up at the sky and we would see the clouds and we would talk about what shapes we saw. And then we would wander off into what I want to be when I grow up. Keep that alive in you. I always ask that when you look at those clouds, this will be the first quote I'm duplicating from Sten. When you look at those clouds, every day when you go outside, and if there aren't any clouds, be grateful for the blue sky. Say, is what I'm about to do taking me toward my goal or away from my goal? That is a good thing. Every time I get in the car, every time I go outside, I say that again. So dream big. How can you dream? This is some new material now. Get some tea or a glass of wine or whatever the beverage is. Sit by a fire like we see in back of at least two of us. Get some magazines and start tearing out, ripping out the pictures of what you want. Now, it's okay if you're one of those perfectionists and you need to trim them neatly. Go ahead, trim them out, but claim them for you. You taking the action of cutting them out of a magazine rather than thinking, I want a nice house and looking for it on the internet. Take it out of the magazine. Say, I want this. Your subconscious is paying attention. It sees you saying what you want and taking it. So get a pile of all those pictures and words and flowers and things that you love. Maybe even Sunit in her beautiful hat. Don't we all want to be as calm as she is? Then you're ready to make a vision board, but there are more steps involved. Again, you're going to see, you've heard this before. You've got to believe that you're worthy of that goal, because many of us don't think we're good enough. I would imagine most every human on the planet has thought that at least 1,000 or more times. Yes, you are good enough. So one great way to skip from believe to really know you can do it is to do affirmations. All I need is within me now. My success is closer every day. I'm thrilled I doubled my income this month. I'm grateful to be in a mutually loving relationship. I love my career. I get to work with people and help them achieve their goals. I get to serve others on their success journey. I am so happy. Okay, you've heard enough affirmations. Tony Robbins will tell you, don't just say them. Stand up, jump up and down while you say them. Neuroscience has taught us that by doing that, we really bring it into our being rather than just perfunctorily saying them. Write them down every day. My first sales coach made me write my affirmations 100 times every day. I hated her, and then I loved her because it works. Yes, it works. Next, why do you want these things? We've heard a lot about that already today, but when you know your why, and if you want to see a really great TED Talk, Simon Sinek, his All About Why is masterful. I watch it many times. So get clear about your why. And along with the why comes, how will you feel? Oh my gosh, how will you feel when you cash that? If you've heard Jack Canfield, he put $100,000 check up on his ceiling. So every night when he went to sleep, he saw a check made out to him for $100,000. Jim Carrey made that check out for $10 million. They both got what that check said. Jack Canfield says now he wished he'd put $10 million in his check. Well, trust me, with Chicken Soup for the Soul, he's gotten there. But write yourself a check. Ask yourself how you will feel when all those things happen. And when you start thinking about what you want, think of all the areas of your life. You saw that map that Sten showed us, which is the wheel of life according to Zig Ziglar. I've added a few things to Zig's wheel. I like to think about spiritual first. Like, what is the spirit that I want to put out in the world? Something loving like Sunit. Family, friends, fun, which is social time, finance, health, home, happiness, all of those things. Write for some of them all. Write something for all of them. And then how will you feel when you have them? When I first wanted to be a speaker and knew that I was going into the business to motivate people, I left the financial planning world after I was diagnosed with cancer and went through this process with the vision board. All I could think of was, will I ever get in front of a large crowd? So of course I took a picture of a large crowd, put my face over that face, and every day told myself I was speaking to 30,000 people. I've not made it to 30,000 yet, but I have made it to 1,000, and I'm quite happy. So how will I feel when I get on that stage? All those people hopefully will get one nugget that changes their life, or I also am going to dip into vision now. How will you feel? I remember watching the Olympics 4 years ago. Actually, it was 8 years ago. And Shaun White, the snowboarder, who does all the everything. I adore that man, but he's up there at the top of the mountain. Everybody else is going about their business, and he's over in position, and you can just see him. He's going through the flips one by one by one. He sees his run down the mountain over and over and over, and he feels it. He feels being down there and going with his hands up. He sees the trophy. He sees the gold medal around his neck. He's so excited. And he talks about why he does what he does. And every time I see him, I almost get tears in my eyes that I wish I could get into my vision as well as he gets into his vision. So that's where vision comes in. Now, how did I start doing vision boards? I used to put what I wanted up on my bulletin board when I was a little girl. How many of us did that? Little did we know we were planning. Little did I know I would start teaching vision boards. But when I decided to leave financial planning after my cancer diagnosis, I had made vision boards. And I thought, I'm going to do something fun. And this is what I do. I have fun every day. So vision boards to me are not those big poster boards. Mine are 10 by 12 scrapbook pages, cardstock. This is one vision board. I'm going to put it up close a little bit. It's got cherry blossoms on it because I love Japan. But you'll see my process. Dream, believe, vision, create a plan, and focus. Since this one, I've added the word why. But I always start with the picture of my family on top and talk about my family life. I always have health next. Cancer diagnosis might have had something to do with that. I give $1 million bills out at my vision board events. And then this is one of my websites, Just Take the First Step. Before I was Thrive Every Day. So I take copies of my vision board and I have them reduced down to an 8.5 by 11 page. You'll see the flower with the word joy in the middle. Joy is very important to me. You can see it in back of me as well. I mean, if we're not joyful, why are we? But again, the process is on here over somewhere. Dream, believe. One more. I have it reduced down even further. This is in my day timer. This hangs in my closet. Different sizes are all around my house, on the visor of my car, in my garage where I push the button to open the door, as if I'm opening the door to my vision. Get creative of where all these things are. But by keeping them in front of you, your subconscious, every time it sees your vision board, comes back to what you want. And then, how did Sten say it? I can't remember. Or no, it was the song we heard this morning. You can have it if you just get started, if you just take action. So every time you see this, even if you don't see it, your subconscious did. So that's the power of the vision board. It's amazing. So plan. We went way through planning with the Zig Ziglar process. It's fabulous. So get your plan, figure out what you want to do. And now I'm going to quote another genius that Sten quoted, Tom Hopkins. Every night before you go to bed, he taught me in a sales class, write down the 3 things you hope to accomplish tomorrow. You probably have a whole lot more on your vision board list or on your to-do list. 3 things. Write them down, put them by your bed, and go to sleep. Your subconscious starts to work to bring that to you, especially if that's your intention when you write them down. So, little trick of writing those 3 things down. I've been doing that for over 20 years. And the days I don't do it, I'm sure the day is just fine, but I know it's finer when I do it. So that gets us to the focus, which is always the last thing on the list. I say there are two F words that are important in my life: focus and fun. Because if it's not fun, why are we doing it? I had fun in financial planning. I had couples do couple planning, and they each had a goal of how much money they could spend each month. And they had to do their budget with some wine. And then whoever spent the least and came closest to their goal for the month, the other one had to take them out to dinner and pay the bill. Just fun things to really, keep life going. So just remember to focus and always ask, is this taking me closer to my goal or further to my goal? I never knew Zig Ziglar said that, but he said everything, didn't he? What a man. The other way I've heard that is this taking me closer is, will this make the boat go faster? Or the swimmer might ask, will this get me to the other side faster? But have your ways of saying it all and seeing it all, that you keep that smile on your face. Because it's so much easier when we turn that frown upside down. We dream, we believe, we say our affirmations, we plan, we have a clear vision that we can get into when we're visioning, and we focus. That's when, like that astronaut, we can be on top of the world. And last but not least, get a picture of you on top of something with your arms raised with a big smile on your face. I've got that picture. You see Mary Jordan at the bottom of the screen. She's here today, but not on screen because she's got some things to do in the background. But we have pictures of both of us on top of the Dirty Girl mud run with our arms stretched. We did it! So you can too. Have fun. And I'd love to hear all about what you have in mind. And I'm offering a free pop-up vision board class for all of you. And hopefully my pace will work. It's now in the chat. And it will be on February 5th, which is the Lantern Festival, which closes out the Lunar New Year's celebration in China. And it will be for 90 minutes on Zoom. And the link is in chat if you want to come. It would be my honor to start you on the vision, learning the magic of the vision board. And I hope I wasn't too long.
No. Thank you so much, my beautiful Linda. I just copied your link. I will create an event for you. If you have a thumbnail for me to put it on, I can do that for you as well. But we will talk about it. So, ladies, while I'm setting my table up and moving my chair, is there any questions for Linda?
I would just like to say thank you very much, Linda. I think vision boards are amazing, and the way you presented it and provided us the outline in general for it is wonderful, especially the printed out versions. I mean, what a nugget that is, to take the poster size and shrink it down and have it placed in various places in your home, car, doors. That was priceless. So thank you so much.
Wow, that's
Thank you.
amazing.
I would just like to say, Linda, your energy is beautiful. And I will validate a situation that happened to me with the vision board. I put a coffee machine that I wanted on my vision board. I got one even 10 times better than that. So sometimes the universe gives you a lot more than what you ask for. But the whole point is ask and believe that you will get it, right? So thank you, Linda. This was beautiful.
Thank you so much, Devonna. I can also say to you, ladies, the last 3 years, so many miracles was bestowed on me. And people will ask me, Sanit, you are really God, you are God's favorite. You have been given so much gifts and miracles. And then I say to them, because I ask God, I know what I want and I know what my purpose is. So bringing all that together is just making me get all the miracles. So I have, oh yes, sorry, Val. You can go ahead. You're on mute.
I said, please finish. I'm not in a hurry.
Now I'm finished. I want to play out with a particular song, and I think you guys, you ladies will love that. So please go ahead, Val.
Well, I just, he said that you need others to help you. And what I found is so interesting is as I'm doing my research, I'm finding books that just open the door to my questions. And so sometimes it's not always people, but it's books, or it just comes to you if you just open up and ask for it. And it's just such a great gift. Thanks.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for that. So, ladies, are you ready to have a last dance with me? Giovanna, when we finish, if you can stay, I quickly want to talk to you. And Sarah, I will also come back to you a bit later. Okay. Thank you. So let me share my screen. Are you ready, ladies? And now I will ask you to dance if there's no tomorrow. If you haven't heard this rendition of Move It, you're gonna love it.
Denise, did you stop the recording?
I'm sorry.
Did you stop the recording?
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let me just stop sharing. Thank you for helping me. That's gonna help me now a lot. Stop sharing.